do hope that wasn't for me.
But that is.
That train was not CGI, by the way. Today we are going to map and analyze the legendary tube chase scene from Skyfall. We will follow Raoul, Silva and James Bond's route through London, find the actual filming locations, uncover mistakes made by the production team and go behind the scenes of filming a standout action sequence. If you haven't seen Skyfall, the second highest rated Bond film out of a total of 25, here's a one-sentence summary of how we got to this chase. The film's villain Silva escapes from MI6's new secret underground headquarters on the banks of the Thames. His plan is to attack the head of MI6, known simply as M, in revenge for a betrayal during the handover of Hong Kong to the Chinese in 1997. M is currently at a hearing in the British Parliament. Things start off as Silva is being handed this bag as he makes his way to a tube platform. Bond follows him to the platform, passing some subtle Omega product placements. Shooting this scene involved 450 crew members and extras. Just one person making eye contact with the camera could ruin the entire scene, setting the production back thousands of dollars for each additional take. Figuring out the name of this station was quite a challenge.
Where are you now?
Temple Tube Station, along with half of London.
Now, you might be forgiven for thinking that this scene was actually filmed at Temple Station, but you would be wrong. This is what Temple Station really looks like. It's a so-called cut-and-cover station, built by removing the road above, digging a hole for the station and tunnels below, and then putting the road back on top of the station, to put it simply. The straight walls of the actual Temple Station are a dead giveaway that it's not the station from the film, which is a so-called deep-level station, with curved walls. That deep-level station is an abandoned Jubilee Line station called Charing Cross. Jubilee Line services to Charing Cross ended in 1999, when the line was extended to Stratford. The vast station is still served today by Bakerloo and Northern lines. The disused Jubilee Line platform is now often used for filming, which is encouraged by Transport for London as it benefits them financially and builds the Tube's global brand. You may even recognize the station from other films such as The Bourne Ultimatum, Paddington and Morbius. It took 2 Skyfall production units 20 weeks to get all the necessary shots inside Charing Cross for the 7-minute scene. Next up is a classic action film trope. Bond tries to find out whether Silva got on the train or is hiding on the platform. Q uses some AI facial recognition tech, which must have seemed futuristic in 2012 and is all too real now, to find Silva, who has snuck onto the train disguised as a police officer. This leads to 2 moments of supreme British humor.
He's keen to get home.
Health and safety. Carry on.
That scene also shows us which tube line Silva and Bond are on. While the real Temple Station serves both the District and Circle lines, only the District line has a terminus at Wimbledon. This also means that the train is heading west. A few seconds later we get our confirmation, as Q and Bond are still trying to figure out where Silva is going.
Where's he going? Where's he going? He's going for him. Tell Tanner, get her out of there.
Transit experts much smarter than me have noticed an inconsistency with the train used in the scene. It's 1996 stock, which is not used on the District line, but rather only on the Jubilee line. This makes sense as the filming took place at Charing Cross, and Jubilee line trains are the only stock available there. Charing Cross is still connected to today's active Jubilee line and is sometimes used to turn trains around. Jubilee trains can therefore easily be made available for filming at Charing Cross. Some people even claim to have spotted the grey Jubilee Line diagrams inside the carriages, but I have not been able to confirm that myself. In the previous shot, they obviously used the correct green District Line diagram. Having correctly guessed that Silva is heading for Westminster to go after M, Bond closes in on Silva, forcing him to get off at Embankment. Comparing footage of what the film calls Temple and Embankment, it's easy to see that they are one and the same disused Jubilee Line platform at Charing Cross. It's the most practical solution, as all you have to do is change the signage, which of course they did. Silva and Bond then slide down some escalators, also filmed at Charing Cross. The small metal anti-slide pyramids were obviously removed before filming. The film crew built a special rig to film the scene and to get close-ups of both Silva and Bond while sliding down the escalators. The behind-the-scenes footage of the escalator slide looks pretty wild and impressive, with Daniel Craig really going for it. And while Silva belly flops at the bottom, James Bond of course sticks the landing like a world-class ski jumper, at least in the final cut. At what the film pretends to be embankment, Silva's policeman disguise finally pays off, despite his rather conspicuous hair. He proceeds to sneak into a service area. This reminds me of a big campaign by the British Transport Police to get people to report exactly this kind of suspicious behavior. Bond is tipped off by the door Silva has left slightly ajar and follows him into what is meant to be part of the sewer system between Embankment and Westminster. This is where the grand finale of the chase takes place. Special effects supervisor Chris Cobalt explained how the final tube crash came about. During pre-production, director Sam Mendes called him and said, "We've got the great chase in the underground of London, but I feel we are short of one spectacular set piece." That night, Cobalt had a dream about a train crash. He then mentioned it to Mendes, who liked the idea and put it in the script. In the scene, Silva blows a hole in the ceiling and a tube train crashes right through it, allowing him to escape. When I first saw the scene, I was certain that it was all CGI. Turns out I was wrong. The first two carriages are real life-size tube carriages, weighing a combined 15 tons. And the production team did actually crash them at the 007 soundstage at Pinewood Studios, which is one of the largest sound stages in the world. The production team hung the carriages from an overhead track, much like a suspended monorail. Using a truck and cable system, they brought the carriages up to speed and crashed them down into the sewer set. The scene had to be shot with 10 remotely operated cameras for safety reasons. Special effects supervisor Chris Cobalt said they were rightly concerned about stopping the carriages as they came to a halt a mere inch before hitting the side of a giant water tank. The scene was a one-off, with no possibility of a second take. As with almost all modern films, lots of things like the other carriages were later added in post-production. If you are interested in winning this book, consider joining my Patreon, where I'm currently running a giveaway for all paying members. If you join today, you would have a pretty solid 25% chance of winning. The link is below in the description. Also, a huge thank you to my existing long-term supporters, Did Ikyapine, Brian Simpson, and Needs More Cowbell. Finally, please subscribe and help me reach 27,000 subscribers.